What's up, it's Auto Handles, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about Karl-Anthony Towns. But before we can get into the video, be sure to like and subscribe. Let's begin. It's fair to say that Minnesota wasn't the ideal fit for Karl-Anthony Towns, particularly over the past 2 seasons. Teaming up with Rudy Gobert in the front court put Towns in an awkward position. Gobert excelled in areas where Towns struggled, like shot blocking and deterring guards from attacking the rim, while Towns was a superior shooter and brought more to the table offensively. Together, they formed a dominant rebounding duo, as expected when you pair two 7-footers. However, Gobert's presence often clogged the paint, leading to turnovers for Towns and limiting his effectiveness. This dynamic was especially evident in the playoffs, where Towns was forced to take on the role of the primary floor spacer. Although he excelled as a three-point shooter, it still limited a significant part of his game, such as his ability to get touches in the paint. While today's NBA demands big men to stretch the floor, relying on Towns as the sole perimeter threat, especially with Gobert stuck in the paint and Anthony Edwards playing primarily as a slasher, created an unbalanced offense. As a result, the post-ups Towns now thrives on in New York were rarely seen in Minnesota. And let's look back to when he was traded to New York. When Towns was traded to the Knicks, it sent shockwaves through the league, marking a dramatic shift in the NBA landscape. Before he even touched down in the Big Apple, critics were already tweeting about his defensive shortcomings, a reputation that's followed him from Minnesota. Expecting Cat to suddenly evolve into a true defensive center who can protect the paint isn't realistic. There's a reason the Timberwolves brought in Rudy Gobert, to mask Towns' defensive flaws. Cat has consistently been a below-average defender at the 5, and his struggles are especially evident in pick-and-roll situations. Take a look at this play, for instance. The Knicks switched the screen, leaving Cat matched up with Jordan Clarkson. Clarkson easily blows past him because Towns is standing upright and gives up on the play, ultimately resulting in a dunk by Walker Kessler. In Minnesota, Cat was sheltered defensively. He could afford to be lackadaisical in pick-and-roll coverages because Gobert was there to bail him out. Now, with Towns spending more time at center in New York, his defensive weaknesses are being fully exposed. And the next play that I'm going to shows Cat playing even worse defense than before. Cat starts off in position but completely loses track of his man. His man sets a screen, leaving the defense in on a 1-on-2 situation that results in an easy jumper. On that play, it was hard to figure out where Cat was even trying to go. When he makes these mental lapses, his lack of foot speed makes it impossible to recover. In fact, it's easy to imagine opposing teams actively targeting him in pick-and-roll situations because of how lost he can look. That being said, it's not all negative. When Towns gives up on defense, he certainly makes up for on offense. Cat is putting up the best numbers of his career and has bounced back remarkably after a statistical decline during his last 2 seasons in Minnesota. The change of scenery seems to have rejuvenated him, helping him return back to his previous high level of play. Towns is currently averaging 26 points, 12.5 rebounds, and 3 assists per game, shooting an impressive 53.4% from the field and 45.8% from 3. He's one of only 6 big men this season, shooting at least 40% from 3 on 4+ attempts per game. Madison Square Garden has had a front row seat to his elite pick-and-pop ability, which is nearly unmatched. If you gave me hours, I'd struggle to name many players who can match his consistency from 3 in those scenarios. Last season, Jalen Brunson's screeners rolled to the basket 76.1% of the time. During that same season, Cat only rolled to the rim 34.4% in these actions. Now with the Towns-Brunson pairing, Brunson can attack downhill with the confidence that Towns is always ready for a quick kick-out 3 around the arc. So far this season, I'd love to see Tom Thibodeau get more creative with pick-and-pop plays for Towns. Back in Minnesota, the Timberwolves ran a variety of actions to get him open, and the Knicks could benefit from a similar approach. A great example comes from a play with the Wolves, where Towns sets a screen then receives one himself from Gobert, freeing him up for a catch-and-shoot 3. But don't get it twisted. While Towns is deadly as a pick-and-pop shooter, he's just as effective playing traditionally out of these actions. Opposing teams have to think twice about switching guards onto him after screens, as he has a knack for attacking downhill and punishing mismatches. Hopefully we'll get to see Towns fully showcase his skills this season and watch how the duo of Jalen Brunson and Cat continues to develop. But what do you think? Are Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns a good duo? And did the Knicks win the trade with the Timberwolves? Tell me in the comment section below. Until next time, peace.